Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows on the side. And one of the daytime shows that we're doing is The Bold and Beautiful. But before we get into The Bold and Beautiful, so I'm in San Diego. Yesterday was, oh my God. I just felt like I got up at the crack of dawn. I sat on a plane for 5.5 hours. It was a nonstop, thank goodness. If I had to change planes, oh my God, I would have died. It was crazy. Because here's why it was so painful. I had just run that marathon, half marathon the day before, and the 10K the day before that. So my legs were a little bit sore, right? And by the end of the day, by the time I got here, and let me tell you, this place is not close to the airport. So I get here, I drive all the way out here, and I get to the hotel, which is a long ways from the casino. I was a little bit shocked by that. That was kind of weird to me. But so I get out here and I check in, and I couldn't stay awake. I was just like, my legs were screaming so bad. At the end of the day, my legs were like, go to bed. So I just went to sleep. I couldn't take it. I couldn't. Okay. So, however, having said all that, I was able to watch Bold and Beautiful. In fact, I probably could have done this update yesterday, and I'm so sorry that I didn't, but I couldn't do it. I really couldn't. So, okay, so Bold and Beautiful. So, going up to the Halloween episode, which is where I left off, which is where I watched until, basically, Bill pulled a fast one, and he got control of the Spectra building away from Liam. So not only is now Bill back in charge of Spectra, but now also Bill is also in charge of, now he also owns the Spectra building, and Sally does not have it. Now Wyatt was a little bit confused. He's like, wait a minute, she actually already borrowed against it. How, and Bill's like, I really don't care. That's in character for Bill, and it's a nice way to tie up a storyline. Well, no, it's not a nice way, but that's their way of tying up a storyline plot point that doesn't make that much sense. But, okay, so, and what was funny was that at the beginning, starting like last Wednesday and Thursday of last week, I was like, I'm enjoying that they're giving Sally a little bit of a break, right? But then they brought her back on Friday and Monday and Tuesday. They had Sally Spectra, which I love. I love me some Sally Spectra. And they actually had Shirley Spectra on as well, which is great. Saul and Darlita, I'm sort of interested to find out more about both Saul and Darlita. I really am. I'm very curious to see how oh my God, and then that whole crap with Mateo and Quinn and Eric, oh my God. So, I wasn't a big fan of Mateo just because I felt like he was shoved down our throat and acted like he should be there, right? But, I don't care for that. It takes a very special person to be able to pull off a story like that. Like Sally Spectra, she actually pulled that off. And I think what had happened was the producers of the show kind of thought that they could do that with anybody because they did that with Sally and it worked. But, Sally is the exception and not the rule, let me tell you. Okay, so, having said all that, oh God, Sheila Carter, her latest scheme to get into Eric's life was to pay Mateo, who had been working for the Foresters forever. I mean, oh my God, just every single time they had clunky dialogue that explained his relationship to them, it just made me cringe. I don't know how. I would have rather seen him, once every other week, once a month, at first, and then gradually ramp him up to a story. But instead, they just threw him front burner, and it was annoying. But anyways, so he came on to Quinn, and Quinn was pissed. She was like, you're touching me inappropriately. She's like, you're fired. And he's like, wait a minute, please don't fire me. Here's what happened. Sheila paid me to do it, right? So he sang like a canary, told them everything. And Quinn, I don't know if he's going to keep his job or not. I really don't care. Unless they hook him up with Ivy, just because I would like to see Ivy have something to do. I really don't care. Like, I just don't care. So Quinn tells Mateo to tell Sheila that he was able to sleep with me, right? So, with Quinn. I mean, he could sleep with me if he wants to. He can just ask. Anyway. So, so she also tells Eric. She tells Eric exactly what. So they hatch this counter plot, and Eric gets Sheila to, and here's the thing, if I was Sheila, this was what really made Sheila look a little bit stupid a little bit. First of all, I'm glad that Quinn was able to get the upper hand, because you know I love me some Quinn. And I think she's a very smart woman, and I think it's great that she was able to do this. However, Eric's part in it, where he came up to, because he met Sheila, and Sheila told him that Quinn had strayed, and he was like, what? No way, my Quinn, my wife? I mean, he was pouring it on a little bit thick, and then he's like, Sheila, you're the one that's always been so good to me, you're wonderful, and oh God, I can't even look at that portrait. And then she brought her portrait over, which of course does make her look crazy pants, right? So she brings the portrait over, she hangs up her own portrait, and and finally Quinn comes home, and then Mateo comes out, and they basically tell her, get the fuck out. You have done it you've tried it for the last time, get out. So Eric has this big old scene with her, and then they kick her out, and then at the end, Quinn has a scene with her, and she sort of does this cartoony, maniacal laugh at the end, which is, I mean, it's very soap opera, and it's very Sheila Carter. I mean, it's not out of character, it's totally in character. And it makes us wonder, okay, well, what does she have next up her sleeve? And the whole time, and this is what is great about them using Sheila Carter for this, is that Sheila, she has this history that goes all the way back to when she was on Young and the Restless. So we're all wondering, and she says she's got lots of unfinished business in Genoa City. So the whole time that she's in LA, we're wondering, well, when is she going back to LA? Or does that mean that Lauren is coming, because Lauren is her number one rival? Especially, that the kid that she kidnapped, Scott, is now, in trouble with the law. And, if you watch Young and the Restless, you know that there's a whole big deal going on with Scott right now. He hasn't been on the show forever. He comes back, so it would make perfect sense for her to go back, but we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's next on her agenda. We just know that she thought it was hilarious that Quinn was asking her to stay the fuck away from her husband. Okay. So, in terms of Wyatt and Katie, I love me some Wyatt and Katie, but they're kind of getting a little, it might just be because it's not their time yet, but they're getting a little bit boring to me, a little bit, because, yeah, Quinn saw them and she flipped out, but we are still waiting for Bill to find out, because Bill doesn't know yet, so that'll be good. That is the one thing I'm looking forward to I like Wyatt and Katie together, they're just kind of boring on screen lately. Okay, so, but who's been more boring on screen? And I hate to say this because I love her so much, but Brooke. I'm not saying that she needs a man, because she doesn't. She could totally be by herself. But they need to give Brooke something to do besides just be everyone else's sounding board. Steffi goes to Brooke and is talking about, oh, my husband Liam and blah, 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 and he's too nice, and, whatever, that whole ridiculousness. But it would be nice to see Brooke actually, have something to do, basically, when she was hired at Forrester, she was a chemist, and she created the Belief formula that they used for their fabrics, and that was like incredible. You know, like she's a smart cookie. So I would like to see something having to do with anything, right? I mean, they had her at Spencer Publications for like 2 weeks, and then she like, well, bye. I mean, ugh. Anyways, thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Angel Benton. You can hashtag Bold and Beautiful to talk Bold and Beautiful, or you can also hashtag Dancing for Relevancy to talk about Dancing with the Stars, which I'm doing next. And you can also hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel to get my YouTube videos sent to your email inbox every single day. Thank you so much for logging on today. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.